What is up guys, it's your boy Mike Diamonds, and this is a different video, a video I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and this is my step-by-step transformation. Anything you need to know about getting from shit to fit and how I got myself from this physique here to this physique here, every single detail you need to know. So this was me. I went from shit to fit. I went from my dirty bulk and transitioned into the best physique of my life, prepping for my show, and I had the guidance of a coach at this point. Why I got a coach? I have a great general idea of if it fits your macros, dieting, different ways of getting shredded, but to get contest ready, you need a coach, and that was by Josh. Picture right here. As you guys will see, this general area here is gonna have a lot of animations and a lot of physique updates of me at those particular weights. I documented everything, my pictures, progress, photos, videos, so get ready to see that all. So I'm gonna go week by week, and I'm gonna try and make this informational and as short as possible. Okay, so let us start off. This is 18 weeks what I'm gonna show you guys. The first date on here, I have my computer right here, so this is not a cappella.
Throw your diamonds in the sky if you feel the vibe.
So let's kick it off. What I want to also say that all these numbers are based on my body. You can't plug and chug this into your own, but this gives you a general idea of how a cut should go. And I also want to put a disclaimer. I am a student. I live life, and obviously life gets in the way, so everything isn't linear. This is taking everything into consideration and just putting it to you guys as raw as I can and as truthful as I can. So let us start off. I started week 1 on the 17th of May at 2,700 calories. At this point, you're just trying to get where your metabolism is at for you to lose weight at a good pace. 1 kilogram per week is what we're pushing it. That is about half a pound or so forth, but we will be moving with those numbers. So I started with 90 kilograms first week, and I got to 88.8. So at that point we said, okay, cool, we're gonna have to decrease calories, and then we cut it down by 15 carbs. A good point I do want to mention is that when you start off your cut, a good idea is to keep your protein and your fats at the point where you started and play around with your carbs in terms of your cut. So that is what we did a lot here. When we did have to manipulate it, we did touch some on the fats, but we wanted to keep as much muscle as I did during my dirty bulk. Going into week 2 with 2,460 calories, we saw a change in the weight. We went from 88.8 to 86.7, and at that point we had also added cardio within the second week. I was only doing 1 session of cardio a week, and this was on my off day. We were trying to use that as a tool and trying to gauge your body so that over time you can put yourself more in a deficit. You don't want to throw yourself at the deep end and do 5 sessions of cardio a week hoping that that's your quick fix. The idea is you want to let your body do this slowly and progressively, and want to be able to maintain that for a very long period of time. We're in this for the long run and not the short run. From there, week 3, we cut down the calories again. We went from 2,640 to 2,540 in week 3, and we did see a change in our body. So week 2 was 86.7, and week 3 my lowest was 86.2, which is a good change, a decent amount. That was over half a kilo, and we're happy with that. But my coach decided, okay, let's go into week 4. We're gonna bump down the calories in week 4 again by 10 grams of carbs, and then we touched also a little bit on the fats, and we ended up at 2,500 calories within the 4th week. So that was 200 calories we changed completely within 4 weeks, and the lowest I saw my weight go was 85.8. So I'd done a lot of dropping already at that point. What I also want to mention is at the 2nd week, that huge drop you see already is a lot due to water weight. There was a lot of water weight that I'd lost during that time, which is normal, and you'll always see that starting in your cut. When you've gauged your metabolism correctly, you'll see yourself dropping weight drastically, and that might be due to water weight. Moving on into week 5. Okay, so coming into week 5, this is what happened. My weight started to stagnate at this point, and we had been on 3 sessions of cardio, and for 2 weeks we had been seeing a fluctuation of 85 kilograms. So I've lost a good amount of weight, and from week 5 to 6, between those 2 weeks, week 5 and week 6, I seen a stagnation. And from that point, my coach decided, okay, cool, Mike, we're moving from 3 sessions of cardio to 4 sessions of cardio. And we moved from 2,270 calories to 2,100 calories within those weeks. And from there, we started to see the weight dropping again. We went from 85 kgs, and the lowest weight that I clocked in at that point was 83. And you'll see that there's a 2 kilogram difference, and that happens because normally once you put your body back in that deficit and you're doing everything correctly, you can see a sudden change in your body, and you can see a sudden change in weight. And this is us at week 7. So 83 kilograms at week 7 to week 8. We had dropped down the calories again because we didn't want to see a stagnation, guys. I also wanted to put this out there. Me doing the dirty bulk made this the hardest cut that I've ever had to. I found it very stubborn in my experience. I found everything very stubborn. It wasn't moving as quick as I'd expected it to. So at week 7 we were at 83, and week 8 we saw ourselves at 82.3, so 0.7 change in weight, and I was happy with that. We weren't seeing that 1 kilogram drop exactly like we were, and it was going a bit more slowly, but I was happy with that because I know I wasn't wasting muscle, and I was directly going for the fat that had accumulated on my body. At this point between week 8 and 9 and 10 is where we saw a lot of confliction with my body, and this is a big point of stagnation in terms of my cut. So at between week 8 and 9, we're at 2,060, and I told my coach, let's leave it for another week so we can see if my body doesn't really adapt to this amount of calories and if I can lose fat at this point. And nothing had changed. And from week 9 to week 10, we dropped it down slightly from 2,060 to 1,970. And in that week, I even saw an increase in my weight. And that could be to so many more factors. And it's not directly because you're not losing fat or you're gaining fat, but there's factors as sleep, if you're busy that week, your stress levels, cortisol levels. There's many factors that play into consideration, and also your weight. You'll get an average linear line of losing weight, but you'll also see, if you look at the actual graph, your graph has also spikes, so it is never completely linear. You will see increases and decreases. The idea is overall graph slope will be negative, losing weight. Nothing is linear, and this is complete honesty and transparency on my part. So from week 10 to week 11, we had 4 sessions of cardio a week at 1,970 calories, and we're finally starting to see a weight drop. And we went from 82.9 in week 10 to 81.8 in week 11, and that was my lowest ever. 4 sessions of cardio, 1,970 calories after 10 weeks of dieting. This is well over 2 months. So things are getting rather difficult at this point. We move on from week 11 to 12, trying to keep that same weight going again. Then we drop the calories again from 1,970 to 1,920. And what we also did was bump up our cardio, and we saw the weight change from 81.8 to 81.1. Again, that 0.7 change in weight, which was okay. I was satisfied with that, but obviously it's supposed to be going faster, and that is the reason why my coach had been dropping my calories at this point. So when going from week 12 to week 13, we changed in time, so we left it at 5 sessions of cardio a week, but we increased it by 5 minutes. And we saw our weight change from 81.1 to 80.6. That was my lowest weigh-in tracked on the 13th week. And on the 13th week, then we decided, okay, 80.6, this is where it's getting difficult. The diet was getting to me, it was getting difficult. I've lost about 10 kilograms almost at this point. And now my body's resisting, and I'm already at 1,850. Also, guys, you need to know, if you're prepping for a show, you're eating very, very little food, and that does affect your mood. I felt terrible at this point. And even all of you guys, if you follow me on all social medias, I was rather silent because you guys know, whoever is a competitor out there, you guys have that experience of what your body feels like at that point. And what we did here was something special, and something I'd never done before was calorie cycling, or what some people would like to know as carb cycling. So at this point, what we did within our 14th week, my coach introduced calorie cycling, something that I've never done before. And that is maintaining your fats and your proteins at the same number, but cutting your carbs down drastically on particular days, and on different days having your carbs increased more than normal. And what happened then is what I did particularly is that I had a low day and a high day. So on one day I was eating 1,260 calories. I know that is insane. That is less than what a lot of girls eat. And then on another day, the next day I was eating around 2,300 calories. No particular specific details to macros. I want to leave that to my coach because I thought that was rather special. And I moved from 80.6 to 80.25 from that week. Within that week I introduced calorie cycling. I had lost very little. And then week 15 I saw my body go from 80.25 to 80 exactly on average. But my lowest weight that I tracked from introducing calorie cycling was 80.6 to 79.8. And at this point, and I just wrote it down here, is that my body started to pop. I was starting to finally see that my diet that I've been doing for 15 weeks already looks like it's paying off. It looked like I'd been contest prepping, because between the other time, it didn't look like it at all. You'd seen improvements, but it didn't look like I was contest ready. And what I want to mention here, at this point I wasn't calorie cycling. I wasn't changing my macros anymore. My cardio was staying the same. If I did, I would do some extra cardio, and that was just by myself, by no instruction of my coach whatsoever. Week 15 to 16, my lowest weigh-in was 79.8 at week 15, and my lowest weight in my 16th week was 79.2. So guys, at this point we've lost well over 20 kgs, well over 20 pounds within 16 weeks, and I had released my transformation video, which I'll put here if you guys want to see that. And now at this point, this is where we're digging, guys. Week 16, the lowest weight I tracked 79.2. Going into week 18, on average, the lowest weigh-in that I had was 78 kilograms. So we see that change of 79.5 to 78 kilograms. That's 1.5 kilograms lost during that time, and that is what happens of doing something consistently. Now what I also want to point out, guys, is sometimes you shouldn't just be cutting your calories all the time. Sometimes you need to let your body adapt to it, and you'll just see your weight drop during that time. And you guys can see in these physique videos that I felt very, very happy about how I was looking, but inside I felt like complete crap. Contest prepping isn't for everybody, and it's not recommended. You look great on the outside, feel terrible on the inside, and that is just me, honestly, in my complete honesty. Now for the final part, from week 17 to 18, I went from my lowest weight of 78 kilograms to 77.9. And that is my 18-week step-by-step transformation, telling you guys exactly what my calories were week by week, the changes that I saw and the ways that I felt. Hopefully the visuals you guys saw here was great, guys. But if you guys found this video enjoyable, informational, and you like it, give the video a thumbs up, guys. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. If you have any more questions, comment down below. And guys, show my coaching love, Josh Bridgman. I'm gonna leave his YouTube channel link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next